Now this is quite the surprise. I didn't think we would be talking about any Vancouver/Detroit related news in this way, but we are giving a big shout out to one of the more underrated players in the Detroit Red Wings organization, as well as former Vancouver Canucks head coach, Bruce Boudreau. Now, this is actually the Bruce Boudreau that we care about, and it's the reason we are honoring him today. Because Bruce Boudreau's elite prospects player profile dives into a lot of what the 70-year-old was able to accomplish in his hockey playing career. Yes, he was a Toronto Maple Leafs draft pick, and yes, he did play however many games he had at the NHL level. Look at that. 8 seasons in the league, 141 games, 70 points. That's pretty good, I would say. But Bruce Boudreau had his most productive and most dominant hockey-playing years playing in the AHL. For the St. Catharines Saints, he had multiple 100-point seasons. For the Springfield Indians, he had another 100-point season. Doing all this stuff in the 70s and 80s, take a look at his overall AHL productivity here. Bruce Boudreau had 799 points in 11 seasons in the American Hockey League, 625 games played as well. Then, of course, you have the head coaching career. IHL, ECHL, AHL, NHL. Bruce Boudreau has been a very, very prominent hockey figure. And still, at 70 years old, he's going out there and doing stuff with the Hershey Cubs in the USPHL Premier League. He's the franchise owner there. Also was a senior advisor for the Niagara Ice Dogs last season. So Bruce, there it is, has a lot to go over, and there's a lot of history with him in his profile. Which is why, taking a look at this new update out of the American Hockey League, this could be seen as the ultimate honor. There's a new AHL award being named after former Vancouver Canucks head coach. The Bruce Boudreau Award recognizes skilled players on AHL-only contracts. Now, the article says that the award is an unofficial AHL award, but there have been a whole bunch of articles going out there and describing the new Bruce Boudreau Award. So we're going to go out there and talk about it here and highlight the first recipient of the award. Former Vancouver Canucks head coach and Jack Adams winner Bruce Boudreau was always considered a bit of a scrappy underdog, which might be why he fit in so well with the AHL. He sits 12th overall all-time in AHL scoring with 799 points in 634 games. But those offensive skills didn't translate to the NHL consistently enough for him to earn a permanent spot in the top league. Despite not becoming a superstar at the NHL level, Boudreau developed into an excellent pro at the AHL level and went on to use those skills he learned to continue on in the game as a head coach. He led both the Manchester Monarchs and Hershey Bears to the playoffs in all 8 full AHL seasons he was behind the bench and won the Calder Cup with Hershey in 2006. Boudreau then became the head coach of the Washington Capitals in 2007 and won the Jack Adams in 2008. He went on to win 50 games twice with Washington before joining the Ducks, Wild, and the Canucks. He ranks 24th all-time in NHL coaching wins with 617 and holds a winning percentage of .568. But those years in the AHL transformed him as a pro and a person, which is why a panel of AHL media decided to name an unofficial award honoring the most outstanding AHL player who is not playing on an NHL contract, recognizing their leadership, consistency, and impact on the league as the Bruce Boudreau Award. Now, I love that idea. Like, the AHL is a developmental league. The purpose of the league is so that younger guys can inevitably hone their skills and become NHL guys. Development is the name of the game for the league, but you still want to have competition, right? You're not running a hockey school, you're running a league. You want guys to be able to produce, and you want competition to exist, and you want teams to be better than other teams, and you want championships to be awarded. So guys that can thrive in this AHL environment without that NHL contract are being recognized now. Let's scroll down over here. Boudreau said he's thrilled to be associated with an award that recognizes some of the unsung heroes of the AHL. I think they deserve recognition, because a lot of times it's the American Hockey League player that makes the young NHL prospect a lot better, and they do it in spite of the fact that they're going to take their job eventually. He said that one of the most important traits that prospects can learn at the AHL level is leadership, and that Boudreau'S Award winners will possess that quality. They teach the young prospects how to be pros. Most of that is from the players and not the coaches, he said. That's what makes young players so good. It's if they have that AHL pro leadership. The vets are willing to take a back seat, and that can make winners out of young players. This is where we dive into the first winner. Grand Rapids Griffins forward Dominik Shine has been named the recipient of the inaugural Bruce Boudreau Award. An undrafted signee in 2017, Shine has played 8 seasons with the Griffins, accumulating 184 points in 483 regular season games and an additional 10 points in 22 playoff games. In 24-25, he recorded 46 points in 61 games. The Pinckney, Michigan native played for the USHL's Lincoln and Northern Michigan University before turning pro. The panel noted that Shine has become a cornerstone of Grand Rapids' veteran leadership group, wearing an A since 2023. Known affectionately as the mayor of Grand Rapids, Shine has taken a leadership role off the ice, helping players from around the world acclimate and connect to their new hometown. "I love it in Grand Rapids," said Shine. "It's become a home for me. I just want to be that guy that makes guys want to be a part of the organization." Griffins head coach Don Watson cites Shine's development as an example that different players mature at different rates and uses his story to motivate prospects. Now, this is the really good part. On January 27, 2025, the Red Wings rewarded Shine's success, dedication, and contribution to the organization with a 2-year NHL contract, taking the call while he and his son were out buying their first pair of skates. Shine played 9 NHL games to finish the year, earning his first NHL point in his 3rd game. "You're doing what you used to do as a 10-year-old kid," said Shine. "We're so lucky to be able to do that, especially at this level. It's just a great honor." Now, we gotta give some love here to Dominik Shine, right? We did give some love to him back in January when he was signed and inevitably made the Red Wings, because this guy, he's 32 years old, undrafted player who is from Northern Michigan University, who found himself in the Grand Rapids organization playing so long, not really producing all too much, but still being a very notable leader. And the most recent season, he started to get that production up. A lot of fans who watch Griffins games regularly will immediately tell you just how good of a player Dominik Shine is to have around this young core. He motivates, he inspires, he helps. And there's a lot of good leadership capability that he brings to everybody out there. I love that the article specifically calls out that Shine has a role on this team to help newer guys get adjusted to their hometown. New guys from around the world. That's directly talking about some of the Swedes and Norwegians that the Red Wings have drafted over the past few years. And for Dominik Shine, to see him get that NHL contract, that 2-year NHL contract, by the way, it was just totally a reward for him. $775,000 AAV. Now, sure, he will get less money in the AHL, I'm pretty sure. But, here we go, minor salary, $120,000 in 24-25. And $250,000 in 25-26, a really big pay increase from the AHL-only salary that he was getting on his AHL contract in years prior. And if he does spend, let's say, a week in the NHL, he gets called up and he plays 9 games like he did this most recent season, he'll get even more money. So that, of course, is super good, super motivating for a guy who is 32, he's a family guy, and he's just worked super hard to get here. So big shout out over to Bruce Boudreau for helping in making this new award for AHL talent. And of course, big shout out over to Dominik Shine for being the first guy to receive the award. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit the like button. If you did not, then hey, the dislike button is down there for you. Comments help out with the algorithm, so I'd really appreciate it if you got involved in the conversation. But I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.